everyone. Welcome to another episode of InfoScope. I'm your host, Hannah Kim. Let's start today's episode with some great news. Korea has ranked first in the world in Information and Communications Technology, or ICT Development Index, for 2015 after giving the top spot to Denmark by merely 0.01 point in the previous year. Let's find out more about this and more in Briefing Scope. The United Nations International Telecommunication Union has announced that Korea has ranked at the top of the ICT Development Index, followed by Denmark, Iceland, and the United Kingdom. The UN agency reported that access, usage, and skill related to ICT has gone up evenly over the past 5 years worldwide. According to a survey conducted by the National Academy of Korea targeting 700 professors and students regarding improvements in engineering education, most respondents claim that there is a greater need for education on practical skills. Based on the survey, the organization has proposed reform measures in a plan titled Future Engineering Education 3.0. The Ministry of Science, ICT, and Future Planning announced that a company that developed a sub-miniature natural random number generator in a chip form has won an Internet of Things security contest. Random number generation is becoming a critical factor in security systems as prediction is virtually impossible. Korean researchers have developed a colonoscopy system that is capable of diagnosing and treating cancer cells. The system uses graphene and nanoparticles, and the researchers have stated that the following clinical trials could be used to diagnose and treat a variety of disorders in the future. Colonoscopy that can detect and treat cancer cells directly. Isn't that a big achievement? If you want something badly, you can achieve it. But does that formula work on parents' wishes for their children to get good grades? Is there a relationship between parents' expectations and the children's actual academic performance? A British research team has the answers. Let's find out on Industry Inside.
Every student has probably had a parent telling him or her to study hard.
100점까지는 강요를 안 하고 90점까지만이라도 좀 강요를 하실 때는 스트레스에 좀 받을 때가 있어요.
나중에 시험 볼 때 그 압박감이 좀 세요. 더 공부해야 돼서.
Research from England looked into the effects of parents' high expectations on the students' actual performances. Researchers looked at the math scores of 3,530 secondary school students and asked the parents what score they wish their children to get. Their results showed that excessive and unrealistic expectations actually led to lower scores. Researchers stated that excessive aspirations could lead to psychological intimidation.
무조건 그 기대를 맞추려고 하다 보면 대부분의 경우에 좌절을 하게 되고요. 그때 정서적으로 수치심이나 혹은 죄책감이나 이런 것들을 많이 느끼면서 높은 불안을 갖게 돼요.
Experts say that there is a need to look objectively at a student's grades.
일단 부모 스스로가 자신의 기대가 과하다라는 걸 인정을 해야 돼요. 이게 아이의 욕구가 아니라 부모의 욕구라는 것들을 좀 분명히 인식을 해야 되고.
There is a need for the parents to step back and observe their children from a distance. The United States Stanford University has fostered many bright minds of Silicon Valley. Total revenues of Google and other startups created by Stanford alumni make up 16% of the United States GDP. Korea's Institutes of Science Technology are aiming to emulate this model. KAIST, along with the Gwangju Institute of Science Technology and 2 other schools, held a ceremony announcing their goal to foster student-led startups and blue-chip corporations. KAIST, the leading institute of science technology in Korea, will introduce the K-School, which will foster students with startup-related goals and implement a customized curriculum. The Gwangju Institute of Science Technology will construct the GIST Valley, a joint corporation school incubator for entrepreneurs and outstanding startups. The Daegu Gyeongbuk Institute of Science Technology plans to establish 20 startups by investing their own skills and technology by 2020, while the Ulsan National Institute of Science Technology plans to foster 10 world-class hidden champions. It remains to be seen what results these 4 institutes of science technology will reap and what kind of changes they will bring to the engineering schools. This photograph features autumn foliage surrounded by high-rise buildings. This is Central Park, located in the center of Manhattan, New York. Dubai's artificial islands and the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, look close enough to touch. These are all pictures of different parts of the world taken by Arirang 3A. Since its launch in March 2015, the satellite had been undergoing tests and went into actual service just last month. The satellite underwent various tests for 8 months and completed prerequisite tasks needed for optimization. Arirang 3A has a high-resolution camera capable of capturing objects as small as 55 centimeters, meaning it can capture images of objects smaller than cars. Moreover, its infrared sensor can be used to capture images at night or when it is cloudy. Arirang 3A is expected to write a new chapter in space exploration, and its high-resolution images will be used to observe climate change phenomena, like heat islands, as well as for disaster and land management. It's also expected to be highly competitive in the civilian satellite imaging market. This is a standard IV stand seen at hospitals. Patients must push these stands around when they move around, which could be quite a nuisance. This portable IV stand can be strapped on the shoulder, and patients can move around without assistance. Moreover, they can have both hands free. The stand is light at 400 grams, and the shoulder pad is hygienic, so it can easily be taken off and put back on. This is a surveillance camera that has 4 camera lenses within one camera. It's capable of observation at all angles, eliminating blind spots. Installation costs are less than 1/2 of the current cost for conventional surveillance cameras.
렌즈가 3개 있든 4개 있든 하나의 전원선하고 하나의 케이블만 있으면 되기 때문에 설치비를 3분의 1로 줄일 수가 있습니다. 그런 측면에서 경쟁력을 가질 수 있는 제품이 될 수 있겠습니다.
Not only Koreans, but also foreigners are interested in these creative inventions. Most of these inventions can be used in our day-to-day lives as they place emphasis on both technology and economic value. These creative inventions may have a chance at establishing themselves in both Korea and global markets.
It seems that creativity, economic value, and practicality are the factors needed to succeed on the global stage. Solar cells are seen as the energy source of the future, but it requires further development in flexibility, efficiency, and other features. Korean researchers have developed an innovative solar cell. Let's find out more in Tech a Peek.
This is a solar cell that is 1 centimeter long and wide. After crumpling the solar cell, when it's placed on a heated surface, it becomes flat again. The cell is made of shape memory polymer, allowing it to unfold on surfaces hotter than 70 degrees Celsius, just like how an iron straightens out creases in clothes. The cell's light-to-energy efficiency is about 11% on average, and it maintains 6% efficiency, even after it's heated to recover its original shape.
절대 효율이 상당히 높고요. 저희는 10% 이상의 효율을 유지한 상태로 접더라도 그 성능의 저하가 전혀 없이 계기적 물성을 보여줄 수 있다는 특성이 다른 연구 결과와는 다른 점입니다.
Thanks to its high efficiency, this solar cell can be used in a wearable or a portable electronic device. The results of this research have been published in the energy scientific journal, Advanced Energy Materials. Following a severe burn, dressing is applied to the wound to help the wound close up. If an infection is suspected, the dressing must be taken off, but that can cause a lot of pain or reduce the effectiveness of treatment. Moreover, it takes 48 hours to make a diagnosis, so antibiotics are prescribed as a precaution. A British research team has created a smart dressing that glows if a wound becomes infected. Nanocapsules within the dressing break and release a fluorescent dye when it makes contact with bacteria that cause infections. The nanocapsules have the same properties as human skin, so it reacts only to harmful bacteria.
These are kind of indirect measurements and are not completely accurate always in diagnosing infection, where our wound actually detects what bacteria produce, which is a direct signal of changing the pathological state of a wound itself.
Applying the smart dressing technique to different diagnoses for infections can significantly reduce unnecessary antibiotic usage. Researchers plan to conduct clinical testing with pediatric burn patients who have the highest risk of getting wound infections and commercialize it in 4 years. This cross-shaped piece of paper folds up into a box when it's exposed to infrared light. It crawls like a worm and changes directions by puckering up. This paper gets its self-acting properties from graphene. By oxidizing graphene, the layers stack up and become a thin film. The oxidized graphene in the paper absorbs water particles in the air like a sponge and makes the paper straight. Conversely, exposing the paper to heat or infrared triggers a release of water particles, causing the paper to bend. A hand-shaped piece of the same paper is capable of holding objects more than 5 times its weight. Researchers predict that this technology can be applied to solar panels in space that open up when exposed to light. 3D self-folding paper. The research was published in the scientific journal Science Advance. Researchers from MIT have created an ingestible, pill-sized electronic device capable of picking up the heart rate and breathing rate as it goes through a person's digestive system. This is possible due to a miniature microphone in the device. The device analyzes the acoustic waves made by the heart and lungs and transmits a signal to a receiver located within 3 meters of the device. Researchers were able to successfully and accurately pick up the heart rate and respiratory rate of a pig after feeding it the pill. Once ingested, the device will stay in a human body for about 1 or 2 days. Irregular heartbeats or asthma require a day-long observation, and this device has the potential to reduce the discomfort of lengthy examinations. Moreover, researchers believe that this device will be of use to soldiers or athletes for monitoring their health.
It's impossible or extremely difficult in that case, without causing a lot of pain, to be touching the patient. And so we wanted to develop a capability that involved no contact with the body other than within the GI tract.
This research on the potential alternative stethoscope was published in the journal PLOS ONE.
The stethoscope is the most well-known and the most common symbol for a doctor. Now, I feel that many people would miss it if it were to be replaced with something else, even if the new technology proves to be more effective. But we'll have to follow up on that story and more, because this concludes our episode for InfoScope this week. We'll be back next week with more breaking news from the IT and science fields. Have a great week, everyone. Goodbye.